Hi, everyone. Welcome to Source Snack Breaks. I am Ren with Source. Today is Thursday, June 11th. Before we get started on our presentation, I'll tell you a couple things about this webinar tool. You're all muted automatically, but you do have access to the live chat there on the right. So you can pop in your favorite emoji or wave to say hi. You can also use the live chat to ask questions or comment, and we will be sure to answer any questions you have during the presentation. So bring it on, the more the merrier. After the presentation, you'll receive a recording of this so that you can reference it later or send it to a friend. So without further ado, I'm so excited to have you both. This is Karen. Karen, can you wave?
Hi guys.
Karen, and then we have
I miss you all loads.
I know. Karen is our local Portland rep, and then Lisa, our special guest, is with Interface Carpet. She's their VP of Sustainability. Lisa, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about Interface just to get us started?
Sure. Yeah. So I went to school actually for interior design and lasted a whopping 7 months as a designer before getting into carpet. So I worked with a competitor. I worked as a rep for a while, and I just got the bug just being at Interface and reading about Ray Anderson and our history, and the rest is history. I just kind of joked that I was loud enough and passionate enough to be able to earn myself a full-time spot in sustainability. So
I love that. Yeah. And then Karen, can you introduce yourself really quick as well?
I'm Karen. I've been in Portland for 17 years, maybe 18 years, so a long time. But I'm responsible just for the state of Oregon and Southwest Washington. I'm sure I know probably everyone on the call, but anyway, I am on the Interface side of carpet and LVT, and we also own Nora, but Jen McDonald's still that rep.
Oh, awesome. Funny story, Jennifer is my neighbor. I run by her house every day. So it's a really small world. I love it so much.
It is a small world.
Yeah. So before we get started talking about your new carpet backing, which is super awesome, Lisa, can you talk a little bit about Ray Anderson and what he sort of pioneered and what you took from that at Interface?
Absolutely, yeah. So Ray actually brought carpet tile to America. He found it in Europe. And it was several years of doing business, making money, increasing sales, where he read The Ecology of Commerce by Paul Hawken. And that is really what gave him his spear in the chest moment. And when I love that he convicted himself a plunderer. Our product and our competitors' product and probably tons of products that you have on these snack breaks are made of oil. They're plastics. So getting off oil and putting us on mission zero is what he did in 1994. And we declared success on that mission just last year. So actually the products that we're going to be talking about today have to do with the mission that we set back in 2016, which is Climate Take Back, which is reversing global warming.
I love that. What is the mission zero?
Mission zero was all about our promise to eliminate any negative impact we have on the environment by the year 2020.
Dang, and it is 2020 and you completed it?
We completed it last year, actually. We declared
success.
Heck
yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. I love hearing that. So sometimes I feel like with sustainability, we get worried that it feels really far in the future and unattainable. So to have a company say we set a goal and we achieved it, I think is really powerful. So I love hearing that. And we can continue shouting that from the rooftops that it is possible. Keep working.
Yep.
So let's get into these carbon negative backings. I mean, first of all, carbon negative backings.
I know.
That's pretty rare.
I love talking about carbon, so I'm so thrilled that we're doing it the whole time.
Yes.
Yeah, so do you want me to just talk about these?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so probably I think since we're talking to a largely Portland and Pacific Northwest audience, I want to kind of frame the conversation in the context of where a lot of you all have been probably for the past, 5 to 10 years around the concept of healthy materials. So healthy materials for Interface has always been about managing the trade-offs between green chemistry, circular economy, and embodied carbon. Carbon we'll be talking about a lot today. We are really excited to be bringing to you, really just since we launched our Climate Take Back mission in 2016. Yes. Okay, you can answer it this time. I told you that UPS knock would happen, right?
It's happening.
It did during this 20 minutes of my day.
I love it.
I know. So it's really been through those three lenses, and no product really perfectly performs in those three lenses. So, but we're excited to be bringing to you really what we launched back in 2017, which was the proof positive tile. That was a prototype of trying to get to what does climate take back look like in a product? How do we reverse global warming in a product? And then how do we also value those other two lenses of green chemistry and circular economy? Because we have, I think, versions of what are at least perceived perfection in one of those three lenses, maybe two of those three lenses, but not all three. So the proof positive tile achieved all three: recyclable back into itself, carbon negative, which we'll talk about in a minute, and then green chemistry as well. So a lot of what you guys are used to talking about, PVC-free, red list free, performing well on an HPD, et cetera.
So you were looking to create a unicorn, and you're here to tell me that you've done it.
That is correct.
Fabulous.
Yeah. Okay. Unicorn found. It's a real thing. My daughter will probably prance behind me with a horn if you would like her to. Yeah. Yes. And then Circuit Back Green we commercialized part of that prototype in our European business in 2018. And then in 2019, we invested in bringing that technology all around the world so that we don't have to ship it from Europe to Portland. And in 2020, we're here to say you guys actually have a preview of September 15th, we'll be launching these to the public. They were soft launched at Living Future, which was virtual this year. So we do have a landing page and some of this information available for you early.
Sweet. So we get the sneak peek. That's what it is right now. I love it.
Right. Yep.
Okay. So what is it? Tell us. These three backings.
Break it down. Oh, I love the hand clapping. We love a sneak peek. I know, who doesn't?
We have a lot of firms on right now that are red list free firms. So I know they're really excited about this.
Yep. So let me talk about the breakdown of these three. So you guys in Portland, I know you're going to want to just pretend that the first one doesn't exist, and that's okay. But I do want to just let you know that we're fulfilling our Mission Zero promise of being out of virgin vinyl in carpet tile, which was part of the Mission Zero promise. Sequest GB is Sequest glass back. So you all know our vinyl-based backing. This is the one that is going to allow us to continue to reclaim our old products.
Got it. So that's part of the circular economy portion.
Well, all of these we can reclaim, but we don't want to say we can't reclaim anything because now we've fully moved to bio.
Got it.
And we can't do anything with our past backings. So this is allowing for that bridge. Sequest GB is also allowing for us to have post-consumer recycled content, but also be phthalate free.
Okay.
So if you do have a customer, like some of you may work with Microsoft, for example, who does not have a PVC-free stance, it allows us to reclaim the material that's coming out of their projects, as an example, and turn it into something.
Okay. So it says that it has the post-consumer recycled content, and that's coming from your own backing. That's what that is.
Ours and our competitors who, we can take back anybody's vinyl backing. The real innovation is that we're now also using hard PVC pipes, PVC windows, things like that do not have phthalates in them because they're not plasticized to make flexible.
Yeah.
We can now take that back as well. So with that whole mix, it allows it to be phalate free.
And do you guys do that in-house? You do that recycling at your facilities? Or do
None
you
of the pipes. No, we purchase the inputs from those types of materials that have been made into a form that we can use.
Sweet. But when you're reclaiming your own product or other people's vinyl backed carpet, you guys can do that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sweet. I love it. So you can control your own pipeline, basically.
Yes. Yeah. Put it in your specs to get that carpet back. Currently, the only closed loop certified backing that is recycled is vinyl backing. So those are the most scaled up versions of recycling that you'll see.
Got it. Okay. And so what's the next one? The bio.
I know this is what you guys all want. I know bio is sexy. So Sequest Bio is non-vinyl. It has more of the bio-based fillers. All of these are carbon negative, by the way. So you don't have to use bio for it to be carbon negative. but bioresins, biofillers, and bio-oils, which overall are net carbon negative. So this is going to meet PVC-free, red list free, antimicrobial free. What else free do you guys want?
Just flame retardants, maybe?
Flame retardant free. Keep on going. Yeah, exactly.
It's not even a unicorn at this point. It's like a unicorn plus.
Yes, that's right. We should call it Sequest Bio Plus, actually. So yeah, it hits all of those and is recyclable back into itself, which is the thing that is really important to us. We needed it to be hit that circular economy lens as well.
What are the biofillers and the bio-oils? Are you allowed to say what those are made out of?
I am not allowed to say yet, of course, because this is a sneak peek. But there will be disclosure on an HPD. You will
fabulous.
Yeah, you'll know everything you need to know.
Great.
When will those HPDs come out?
They'll be with launch, closer to launch, which is September 15th.
Great. Okay. And so then what is BioX?
BioX is bio, but with even a higher concentration of the carbon negative ingredients. So the reason that we're introducing BioX is because when partnered with some of our new products that are going to be 12 ounces or less, the entire product will be carbon negative, not just the backing.
Dang.
So I know it's a big deal. So there's only going to be 3 styles to start. And we don't have to worry about performance or anything with the 12 ounces or less. You just need to be okay with that super cool flat aesthetic.
Which is super in right now, though.
It is super in.
It is really in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got our first question. Why would someone select one over the other? Is there a price differentiation? I told you this was going to come up.
I know. We always want to know about price.
Yeah.
So there is no upcharge for BioX when it comes. It'll come standard on the 12 ounce or less products, because any product that is carbon negative will be standard on BioX. If you wanted BioX on something else, there would be an upcharge because it is more expensive to produce it.
Got it. So, okay. And so after the launch in September 15th, are these the standard backings?
Yeah, so we're actually moving out of our commitments to raw material suppliers over a year. Mm-hmm. The intention is to get as fast as humanly possible to the standard backing being Sequest GB. Mm-hmm. But it'll take a year for us to get over there. But glassback will be phased out, and so will glassback RE. These are just, GB is kind of takes the best parts of glassback and glassback RE and makes our new standard that. So
great. Oh, we've got another question. Designers, I'm loving it. Where do their suppliers come from? Are they US based or other countries?
It depends. So these are, well, both, I guess is the answer, other countries and US. But there is a supply chain built for each of our manufacturing facilities around the world. So we also manufacture in the Netherlands, Thailand, China, and Australia. So we have local supply chains set up for all of those, as local as they can be.
Got it. I love it. Okay, so you want to talk, can you talk a little bit about the construction of this backing?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is probably, it's not the most exciting thing to show because it looks like any carpet tile, but the important thing to know is that it's a normal carpet tile, but with a supply chain that allows for that carbon negativity. So this is really mostly showing that we've dematerialized, so we've used less of what we don't need as much of. We've replaced materials from synthetic to bio. And then we've also worked with a yarn vendor to create a specialty nylon that will allow for us to do the 12 ounces with a low enough carbon footprint to have the backing offset the face, if you will.
Yeah.
So just innovation at all of these different layers.
Yeah. When you say carbon negative, does that include the embodied carbon of getting something from your supplier to the,
Yes.
You've done all that math.
Great question. It's all the way, it's cradle to gate for the nerds out there.
Yes, we love that.
So all the way from raw material extraction until we're ready to ship it to the site. So it does not include transportation to the site.
Got it.
But the largest part of the carbon footprint associated with the material is the material itself, not the shipping.
Got it. I love it. Okay, so do you want to talk a little bit about this for those of us who are data nerds about this graph?
Sure. I don't know if any of you have dug into the EC3 tool. This is actually something that we created before the EC3 tool was launched, and now the EC3 tool can provide you with this information. But this is really just a comparison of the whole carpet tile category and information from those EPDs that very few people read. They just kind of collect them for lead.
Yep.
If you were to pull the embodied carbon out, this is what it would look like today. And this, I use this example because some of the products to the right, doesn't even matter who the manufacturer is, but a lot of those are red list free. What we don't want to do, and this is part of why the Declare label now has embodied carbon on it, we were one of the pilot users of that, is we don't want to make that trade-off between climate change being the biggest threat to human health of the 21st century and toxicity. You know, ideally you want to achieve both. So,
hey bud. We got another question. What is red list free? Designers, I love it. And so red list free is a list of banned chemicals from the International Living Future Institute. So if you've heard of Living Building Challenge projects, they require an elimination of what they consider the worst in class materials or chemicals. And so the reason we're talking about PVC free so much is because PVC is on their red list. And so a lot of designers, especially in the Pacific Northwest and elsewhere, have been asking for PVC-free backings for that reason. And I also want to note, you mentioned the EC3 tool.
Yep.
I just wanted to note that that is a tool that designers can use to calculate the embodied carbon that comes with their building. And it was something that you partnered with Microsoft and Skanska and a whole bunch of other great folks to create, so designers can go on there and in real time see the decisions that they're making. So that's where you've pulled this data.
Yeah, so this is, I'm actually going to put it in here, building transparency.
.org.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'll pop that in there because you, from an interiors perspective, which I assume is most people on the call, the two material categories that you probably use most are ceilings and floors, specifically carpet. Resilient flooring will be in the tool later this year, and it's continuing to be built out. But it's really exciting to be able, you can either just search by material or you can build a whole project in there.
Yeah, what I love about it is that, like you said, we get these EPDs, and then designers, we didn't go to school to read scary science numbers. And so you don't know what to do with the information, and then it doesn't become useful for you because you don't know what to do with it. And so I like that you've made it more visual so that those of us who are visual learners, because designers usually are, can sort of make those choices using that.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, and so can you talk a little bit about this amazing graph that shows how much of an impact it has?
Yeah, this is another good one that's just a tree diagram that Kirsten Ritchie from Gensler created, because when we're talking about carbon, it's something that you can't see. So this is something that I think is really impactful. Your baseline scenario could be just your go-to materials. This is based on a 10,000 square foot tenant fit out space. So what are all of the materials that I go to for all of these categories? And just that awareness of understanding what you're choosing. This one was able, for no cost or performance trade-off, to have a carbon reduction of 43%.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty incredible.
That's an amazing impact that designers can have just from their specs.
Yep.
No
Yeah,
energy modeling required, no
Exactly.
changing structure. It's just a couple decisions that you make. So you can really feel empowered to make a huge difference with just a small project like that. We have another question. Awesome. In the BioX product, do you anticipate being able to get higher recycled content like the GB version, but without the PVC?
Not initially. So these are.
But eventually.
But eventually, yeah. Once there's enough of it out there and we can bring enough of it back, then yes. But this is, it's one of the trade-offs that you have to weigh. Recycled content, where you might have a minimum threshold to reach recycled content specs. We can still reach the Microsoft threshold, which is 5% post-consumer, even with the bio, because the yarn interface is, I think, the only manufacturer who really has a standard of using recycled content yarn. So that actually helps us.
Awesome.
Great question.
So what I'm hearing is this is a call to action. Designers, start specifying this carpet backing so you guys can start taking it back.
That's right. That's right. And we have all the specs available. We have for a million years for you guys to be able to put into your specs for reclamation. So you don't have to come up with that language.
Great. And then finally, can we talk a little bit about how climate change and human health are basically linked, that we really can't talk about one without the other?
Yeah, this is really a challenge to expand the definition of healthy materials to include the carbon footprint of the materials that get specified. This is a great slide. It animates, and I can send that to you guys. I don't know if it is here, but from the CDC, that center wheel is what we associate with climate change. That leads to things that don't make the nightly news, like air pollution and changes in vector ecology, which have to do with insects. The longer that a season lasts, the more opportunity those animals have to, or I'm sorry, insects have to reproduce. I'm looking at animals out my window. They're not reproducing. That could have gotten awkward. They're all good. But all of that leads to these things that we come in contact with in our communities, like asthma and Lyme disease, which my own mother suffers from, and respiratory allergies. So it's not just everything that you specify has an effect on public health. From a carbon emissions standpoint, it's not just, so we want those people to arrive to the spaces that you design healthy, in addition to taking care of their health while they're in this space. So that's why we like to include this one as part of the conversation.
I love that. And designers, especially those of us in Portland, you can dig into this a little bit. And sometimes it feels like you're not having an impact in your daily life in what you're doing. But Portland has some of the worst air quality in the United States. And so this is an issue that it really does hit close to home. And so by educating yourself and making choices like this, you really can have an effect on your community, because we do have very high asthma rates, and it's related to air quality. And so we can really make a difference in our own communities, which really feels good as a designer, because that's why we design.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Great. And so Karen, you got a new product launch, but we're almost out of time. So I'm going to skip over.
Yeah, I'll just zip really quick and just say NeoCon's here. There's more things coming. A lot of things have been posted on social media. I'll be sure and update everyone. This photograph up here is from Nylon Streets, and I think I got it around to most firms before everybody shut down. But if ever you need any information on anything, hopefully you guys all know where to find me. I'm here for you. And
I will say you guys can go to Source right now and start ordering samples from Karen. And so you can head there right now and you can get in contact with her that way. And in the meantime, so September 15th is the day that we should have in our brains. If designers have projects that are going and specifying right now, is it appropriate to put this in their specs?
Absolutely. Yeah, we can create specs. Any of our running line products now, we can give you a specification with the new backings. So
fabulous.
Yep.
I love it so much. Thank you so much for this sneak peek and for this new product. This is incredible. And I really hope it inspires designers and also inspires the carpet industry in general to keep taking innovative steps like this. I think it's really great to have this happen. So thank you, Lisa. It was really great to meet you digitally and your wonderful children. And Karen, it's nice to see you as always. And I hope we'll get to see each other in person. Designers, if you want to register for a snack break next week, smash that register now button. And I hope we'll see all these products in some specs soon.
Awesome.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks so much. Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.